One of Maine's outdoor gems is also one of its rather more inaccessible. It's kind of legendary for that reason. And it's a place that every Mainer really ought to get out and explore, and there's a new book that'll help you do it. It's called Hiking Maine's 100-Mile Wilderness, a guide to the area's greatest hiking adventures. The author is Greg Westridge, who lives in Glenburn, and he's with us here on 207. Thanks for coming in. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So the 100-mile wilderness extends roughly along the Appalachian Trail from Monson to Baxter State Park. It has a reputation, Greg, for being really rugged, challenging hiking. Is that reputation justified?
Sort of. A lot of Appalachian thru hikers think that it's relatively easy because there's only one mountain over 3,000 feet in it, weight cap. But it has a reputation because there's no roads, crossings, no towns, so you have to carry 100 miles worth of supplies with you. And the trail is all roots and rocks held together with mud. So your feet know you're walking 100 miles.
You say that in a low-key way, but it's worth repeating. 100 miles, no towns, no paved roads that cross it. I mean, it is really remote. And for people to say, oh, well, if anything happens, I'll just get on my cell phone, they're in for an unpleasant surprise.
Correct. When the guides that I write, my publisher now wants you to put cell service, you know, how good it is and for all the different hikes you do. And then basically in this book, it's like, yeah, don't count on it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you get it on top of some of the mountains, you can get a signal, but basically no signals.
This book is a guide not just to, or not so much about the Appalachian Trail, which runs, as we said, about 100 miles from Monson to Baxter State Park, but it's really about all the other hikes that you can take in that area. Why did you want to write this book and take that approach?
Mostly I write books for day hikes because I'm trying to, you know, make all of Maine and New England more accessible for people. You know, find those kind of hidden gems that people don't maybe know about. You know, there's a couple of hikes in the 100-mile wilderness, day hikes that everybody knows about. But what about all the other interesting places? And it always amazes me, wherever I go in the state, I can always find places that people don't know about that are just gorgeous.
And these tend to be places that people don't know about unless they're really avid hikers,
yes,
simply because they're hard to get to. I mean,
yes,
this is not a populated area of the state. It's not always easy to get to the trailheads and so on.
Yeah, a few of the trails in the book, you have there, as far as I know, they're as far as you can get from a paved road, except in Baxter State Park. A couple of the trailheads are almost 30 miles from the nearest paved road.
I asked you to give us 3 suggestions, and I said, first of all, give us a trail that's got a good hike for kids. You said Big Wilson Cliffs. Why that choice?
It's a nice loop trail. There's not a lot of vertical in it. It does have some up and down on it. It's interesting. I know from hiking with my kids that you have to keep them interested from moment to moment. And so you have the stream you're hiking along at one point, which is really beautiful. Kids can go play in the rocks if they want to. There's a little bushwhack you can do to a waterfall. Then when you hike up onto the Big Wilson Cliffs, you do this roller coastering across the top of these slate ledges where half the time you're walking on bare rock. Not a lot of views at the initial part of it, but you know, like I said, for kids, they love just scrambling around on the rocks.
I asked you for a hike that really is just one that stands out for its beauty. You suggested Horse Race Pond.
Yes, a lot of people call this Rainbow Loop. It's off the Golden Road, so it's near Baxter State Park, and you get to visit 4 or 5 ponds, and you can visit Rainbow Lake, and then there's a long section where you go across the top of this ridge with all these beautiful views to the south, and then you earn eventually a really spectacular view of Katahdin.
You know, I misspoke because I asked you about Big Wilson Cliffs, and that was the trail you recommended for access, one that's accessible.
Yes.
One that's good for beauty, Horse Race Pond. So now we finish with the one that's really good for kids, Musquash Ledges.
Yes. This is like right smack in the middle of the 100-mile wilderness. It's at the southern end of the Namakawa Reserve land. And it's a loop, it's only a mile long. It's part of the Great Circle Trail, which is this big loop trail that the state built that runs about 30 miles and uses part of the Appalachian Trail, but it makes a nice circle. And it follows the series of ledges on Musquash Brook that it drops maybe 100 feet in a little less than a half a mile, and it's just nonstop water sliding down ledges. And a lot of the hike, you're actually on the ledges with the water, you know, paralleling it in and out of the woods. Also a great early in the season hike for wildflowers.
All right, all these hikes are not the easiest that you'll find in Maine, but they all will reward anyone who gets out to enjoy them.
Yes.
Greg, thank you so much for coming in. Again, the name of the book, Maine's 100-Mile Wilderness.